Hey, it's Craig the Spa Tech again. This video is a follow-up to a video I did a couple of years ago that was called Tablet Floaters Forbidden in the Owner's Manual. On that video, I really went over the Owner's Manual and just showed how repetitive it was in that Owner's Manual again and again and again, that using a compressed sanitizer in a floating dispenser was forbidden. It was not an approved sanitizer. It would even outright void your warranty. So this video, I'm going to get more into the nitty-gritty of why these things are damaging, not only to hot spring, but pretty much any hot tub they are in, and I'm going to cover that a little bit. So the number one thing with these tablet floaters, and this isn't just my opinion telling you this, this is really the facts of being in the business for almost 25 years. I have seen this again and again and again. So this is pretty much the facts with these things. People tend to, because they hate having to get their bucket of tablets and load this thing up, people tend to fill these things with as many tablets as they can hold. There's another phenomenon that happens with these things is, more often than not, just not even realizing it, people tend to have this dissolve rate window at the bottom cranked open too wide. This is dissolving 5, 6 tablets at a time. On a spa that's being used quite regularly, 3, 4 times a week, 1 tablet at a time, maybe 2, is enough to keep this sanitized. Anything above that is over sanitizing the spa. The sanitizer, whether it's chlorine or bromine, it's a very harsh chemical. That's why they, in the OK range, 3 to 4 parts per million. Personally, I think 5 parts per million is a little bit high. But that's where you want to be. Anything above that is damaging to your spa. But there's something else that happens with these floaters. These floaters tend to carry with them a Ronco set it and forget it mentality. You load this thing up, you throw it in the water, and you're thinking to yourself, what do I need to dip a test strip in there for? That thing's doing its job. Well, the test strips, alkalinity and pH are very, very important. Just to explain it a little bit, when the pH is high, it wants to take the calcium hardness that's in your water and precipitate it out of the water, and that's why when you have high pH, your spa tends to scale up. It's all gritty on the inside. It feels like a chalkboard. People just they don't understand why this is happening, and that's why is when your pH is high, it scales up your hot tub. On the other end of the range, when your alkalinity and pH is when your pH is too low, that means your water is acidic and corrosive. Your water is literally destroying your spa because your water is corrosive. That's why they want you in the middle there. That OK range is pH neutral. So your water is neither scaling or acidic. It's pH neutral. So that's what happens with these floaters, is people tend to not dip a test strip, and their alkalinity and pH drift into the acidic corrosive end. And guess what's happening? Not only is that water acidic and corrosive damaging your hot tub, but guess what it's doing to these tablets? It's dissolving these tablets at an accelerated rate. So in addition to the bottomed out pH, now you have astronomically high sanitizer. So there's some people who think they're playing it smart and doing what they should. It's very rare I see it, but there's still another aspect with these spas that people do not consider. So let us imagine you have a tablet floater in your spa, and let's say you think you are playing it smart. You're only putting a few tablets in here. You have that dissolve rate window dialed way down, so you're only dissolving a tablet at a time. And let's say you're really playing it smart and you are dipping a test strip every week, and your pH is always between 7.2, 7.8, your alkalinity is always between 40, 120, and your sanitizer is always 3, 4 parts per million. Let's say you are playing it smart and doing this. Here's another aspect that people do not consider. When this floater is in there, it always tends to repeatedly find a dead spot and just sit at that dead spot all the time. So even if your sanitizer level is in the okay range, along with everything else in the okay range, if this floater is always sitting at this dead spot in this seat with these jets, what do you think is happening to those O-rings on those jets? Those O-rings are just getting destroyed. It's corroding and destroying those O-rings. It's always leaching that sanitizer at those jets where this thing tends to always find itself and sit. There are some spas where a filtration cycle or a heating cycle turns on a jet pump and it keeps that floater moving. But even when it shuts down, that floater always finds a dead spot, and that's where it's always leaching its sanitizer. And if it's in an area where there's jets, those O-rings are going to be gone in a matter of a few short years. So there's a lot of people who always say, well, if you're going to use one of these, put it in the filter well, and that is a smart idea. However, with Hot Spring, there is a little hole here, a little spitter hole connected to the circ pump. It's to allow the air to burp out of the circ pump. If the floater is over here, that spitter could be, hitting that and dissolving those tablets at an accelerated rate. So on a Hot Spring, I don't know if there's enough room to keep it way over there away from that, but I would not recommend a tablet floater for 99% of the people. There's a small percentage of people who have a hot tub at a vacation home, so they are not there. So they have to use the floater to keep the spa sanitized and fresh between visits. And in those instances, yes, by all means, put it in the filter well. Make sure when you are at the house, dip a test strip, keep your alkalinity and pH balanced to the neutral range, and also have this thing dialed way down, only a few tablets, just maintain a low-level sanitizer. But otherwise, if it's not a vacation home, if it's your primary residence, I wouldn't even use that thing. You know my feelings on these things. I absolutely hate them. So that's my follow-up video on the tablet sanitizer floater, just like on one of my other videos. I hate these things. Throw them away. I'll never use one in my hot tub. This is Craig the Spa Tech. Give me a like. Catch you later.